All right. All right, so we'll jump right in. First, I want to welcome or encourage everyone, if you're able, to come to the early racer check-in and the pasta supper. Our friends group has a pasta supper here at the KVR Visitor Center the night before the race. So Friday, September 30th, and that goes from 5 to 8. And during that time, we have early racer check-in. So racers are able to come to the visitor center, check in, get your race bib, get your t-shirt, get all the information and swag and everything the night before, so that morning, all you have to worry about is just getting your boat put out and getting yourself to the race to transition. So that's kind of a nice feature that we have for people. If you're interested in being here for the early racer check-in, it sure makes things a lot easier that day. It's not quite as hectic for racers. Does anyone have any questions on early racer check-in? Great. The next thing on the list is camping. I'll be quick and brief. If you're not camping, that's okay. If you are camping, we're super excited that the campsite is actually adjacent to the transition and the main event area. I shared a map with everyone. We're going to share our screen really quick here and just talk about that main event area. So I hope you can see my screen. Everyone? Anyone?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Perfect, thank you. So you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner is the event camping, literally right next to everything. So super convenient for racers. I think it'll be popular. And I also think that when other racers that decided not to camp get here, they'll think, oh man, we should have camped. That's perfect. So check in for camping for that. If you want to come earlier, please do. Friday night and Saturday night are $5 a night for racers. If you want to come earlier in the week than that, just get a hold of me and we can accommodate that too, but we will ask you to pay the regular camping fee for those additional nights, which is $15 a night. But we will have a camp host there that will be able to answer any questions and just kind of be your go-to person while you're camping with us. We will provide the firewood and there'll be porta potties right there near the campsite. So it should be pretty convenient for all campers, and we've got a nice big area that isn't all stubbly like a mowed cornfield or something. So we're pretty excited about it. Is there any questions on camping?
So do you just drive through the parking area to get to the camping?
Yep, so if you are coming on Friday night, we will be able to accommodate you. Do you see where the shuttle, the 7 to 10 a.m. shuttle bus is right there? You'll be able to drive right there and go behind the live music tent to get to the camping area, or you could drive through the parking lot too. Either one will get you over there. The rest of it will kind of be blocked off by snow fence and things, but there will be access Friday night to get into the camping area via the road. We'll be there to help people get in, and that's our camp host will be there to help too. Any other questions?
Well, I was last, so if I'm leaving to drop off my boat,
Yep.
then do I go through the parking area that way?
Yep, so you see that on the bottom left of the camping area, see where it says camping access? Right there where the hand is, the camping access. So we're gonna have a driveway from the camping area through the parking lot marked off and be able to enter and exit through the parking area. So if you're needing to leave your campsite, to take your boat after we've kind of get everything closed up, you can still get in and out of camping through that bottom corner.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, great questions. Thank you. Anyone else? Great. Okay, so if you couldn't tell, the manual was kind of in order. This is kind of a step-by-step, how do you do this? So the first thing that you do when you get to Dam Challenge is you go drop your boat off. Even if you registered the night before or checked in the night before, great, you're even one step ahead. But even if you didn't check in the night before, you really should go drop your boat off at landing 12. I'm gonna share that screen. So, and landing 12 is north of the transition area, right off of Highway 131. We're gonna share our screen here really quick. If you're not familiar, just a little bit. If you're not familiar with the area, basically you'd be heading to Rockton. So we're gonna zoom out just a little here. And so right in this area is where the transition area is. And here you can see Lafarge is down at the bottom of the screen. And transition is on the very southern tip of the reserve. And State Highway 131 goes north past the visitor center. And then you would stay on Highway 131 north to like you're heading towards Rockton. And right before you get into Rockton, you're gonna go across the very big bridge, the tall bridge, and you're gonna turn left. We'll have a police officer there, and we'll also have yellow signs there that are the canoe directional signs. And you can see landing 12 is right there. It's on Google Maps, so you should be able to use Google Maps. Plus, on our website, I've made a map of the area too for Dam Challenge. The way that canoe boat drop off is going to work is that you will pull down in. This is just an in and out road that goes down to landing 12. There's no driving past it because past it is a trail. So you're going to pull down in, and then you'll be allowed however many cars can fit into the landing 12 loop. There's actually a loop that's in there. So however many cars will fit around that loop to drop off their boats, that's how many we'll let in at a time. And then once you get your boat dropped off, you will pull back out and head back down south on Highway 131 towards transition. We're going to have volunteers there. It is obviously a different place than we have put in the river before, but we're actually pretty excited about this one. We have a lot more room, and we have a loop to use, which is very exciting. And we're off of the state highway, which is going to make it a lot safer for everyone. Does anyone have any questions about dropping your boats off? Excellent, that's great. So after you drop your boat off, so these yellow signs right here are the canoe check-in signs. So that's what you'll be looking for on the state highway that'll be pointing you in the direction of where landing 12 is for dropping off your boats. So watch for the yellow signs for canoe. All right, after you drop your boat off, you're gonna head back down to the main parking area. Pretty simple parking. We'll have parking attendants there to help you get where you need to be. You'll just have to let them know if you are needing to go park in the camping area. You're gonna use the same parking entrance and exit there on the west side of the map. You're gonna use the same entrance and exit. Once the race has started, or once we're checking people in and everything, you'll use that parking entrance and exit, even if you're going back to camping. So that's where everyone is gonna park. If you have a truck and trailer, we might ask you to park a little differently, so just be prepared, and the parking attendants will help kind of point you in the direction of where you need to be. But the parking is very obviously right adjacent to. We're very excited about that. Everything is right there together. It couldn't be closer, and high and dry, right off of blacktop and everything. So we're excited. Any questions about parking? Good. Race day check-in, you'll see, you see the main gate right off of parking. That's where we'd like everyone to enter, whether you're a racer, spectator, volunteer, anything. You want to enter right through the main gate. And then immediately to the left, if you're a racer, you're going to turn left and you're going to go right through kind of an assembly line. We'll get you checked in, and then you're going to continue on through another racer gate, and then that'll take you right over to the transition area. So we want to remind everybody that it's only racers are allowed in the racer recovery and registration tent, and only racers are allowed in the transition area. So you'll have to wave your cheering section goodbye as soon as you enter into the racer gate there, and you're entering into transition. On check-in, it's important that we, if you're checking in a little bit later, or you're coming through that tent a little bit later, you can see where the blue dotted line where the bikes are going to be crossing that same space. Just be really aware if there's already racers on the route, if you're needing to cross over right there, so that we're not kind of getting in the way of any bikers or anything. Okay, any questions on race day check-in? Excellent. So your gear, you want to make sure that when you leave your car, I mean, you can always go back. You can stay on the screen. You want to make sure that when you leave your car that you're bringing all of your gear with you. So your bike, there'll be plenty of room to be able to, take your bike right in through the recovery or through the racer tent. You can always go back to your car if you want to, but it's going to be best if you just bring everything that you need right with you when you check in, because you'll be right there ready to go set up and transition. We do require that everyone does wear a bike helmet. So we'll have a couple extra, but I can't guarantee that they're super great and they might not even fit you. So please, please, please don't forget your bike helmet and the rest of your gear. Any questions on that part? Awesome. Okay, the next thing that's a little bit new this year for us, and maybe if you've done other races that you've seen it this way, but this is new for us. Our timer, we use Pickle Timing, and they have their timing chips embedded right in your race bib. So when you get your race bib, the timing chip is there, it's right in there. And so there'll be no timing chips that you're going to strap onto your ankle or anything like that. It's right in your bib. So make sure that you're not crossing any mat before you start the race. Don't go walk down and check out, maybe where the run route leads and cross that mat or anything, because your timing chip is active as soon as you have it, and those mats are pretty sensitive. So stay away from the mats until you're actually in the race. Any questions on that? Awesome. All right, race route assistance. You can see the signs. Quit sharing the screen. The signs that are right in front of us here. So the run route is red, and the bike route is blue. The canoe route on your map was yellow, and the signs to get you where you need to go is yellow. I shouldn't say just canoe, it's paddle, it's kayak too. And then your directional signs in and around transition are going to be white, and those will also be out on the highway to get you to transition, will help kind of point the way. And then our volunteers will be wearing some pretty great yellow bright vests, say KVR volunteer right on them. Those will be scattered throughout the race route. So anyone with a vest can help you, and the signs will also help you kind of point the way. We will also use some pin flags along the routes too. in places where maybe we just want to make sure that, kind of reassure you that you're going the right direction. We'll have a bike sign at an intersection that's gonna point you a certain way. And then after that sign will be pin flag, that blue pin flags that'll kind of reassure you that you are going the right direction. Any questions on the race route? Awesome. All right, transition area. The bike racks will be set up. We'll have bike racks set up for racers to put their bikes and gear on. We'll label the racks for competitive racers, and some will be for citizen racers. Make sure you just put your gear. You get to pick your spot. There's no assigned seats. So I guess the faster you get there, the earlier you get there, the better seat you get. I don't know what the good seats are, but you can decide that. So after you've checked in and have all of your gear in transition, and you're ready to jump on the shuttle and head up to the race start, the shuttle will be right adjacent to, we can share that big map again. The shuttle will be right adjacent to transition area. So we just can't get things any closer than what they are. It's gonna be so easy. So you come out that racer gate at transition where you went in and jump on that shuttle bus. And the shuttle bus will leave that location right there from 7 a.m. until about 10 a.m. And then after 10 a.m., we'll have to move the shuttle down to you can see kind of the bottom left of your screen, because we'll be having, it won't be too long and the bikes will be coming back that way. So we don't want to have the shuttle bus competing with racers coming in. All right, spectators, your friends, your family are very welcome to ride the shuttle bus up to watch the race start, and they'll be able to jump on that shuttle to come back too. But just make sure that racers are getting priority, so we make sure we get all the racers up there in a timely fashion. All right, any questions about the shuttle bus?
What time does the actual first boat get launched?
9 a.m. So it's up to you on how early you want to get up there. Some people, would rather be up there earlier. Some people would rather just kind of wait and, excuse me, be maybe down at transition until it's closer to the time. It's up to you. It really is up to you what time you want to head up there. We'll have contact with the folks up at canoe start. So if we've got a lot of people kind of mingling down at transition, kind of waiting so they don't have to sit up there so long, but the line is getting shorter up at 12, we'll make those announcements at transition so people know, hey, maybe we should go a little sooner than later. Okay, there's a question in the chat. Yeah, so right now we have 190 racers. So our race is a little smaller than usual. So if you're kind of trying to figure out how soon you should be here, I would say we're gonna be able to get everybody on the water pretty quickly. We've got our good set of volunteers that are used to doing it at Landing 12. So we'll probably have everybody on the water, I would say, in an hour and a half. Maybe a little longer, depending on how it goes. But that's my guess. Any questions?
One more question. What side of the river is the exit?
The exit is on the right side of the river. So you'll be exiting river right. It's not on this map. And the great big screaming, spot that tells you that you're about there is you're exiting right at the covered bridge, right at bridge 18. So, but you will be exiting river right. There's a really nice big long rock wall and long straight stretch before you get to the exit. So you'll have a good view of what's going on ahead of you. All right, any other questions there? Awesome. All right, I'm sure all of you got this, the manual, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, but the paddle is 7 miles, just like it has been in the past. And it goes from landing 12 to bridge 18. Bridge 18, there's not been a canoe landing at bridge 18 before. We literally put it in last week. So we're excited that our board approved a canoe landing there. One, it really makes this race route kind of pretty special and pretty premium. But also for other times of the year, it'll be really beneficial for people to have that other nice canoe landing at the southern end of the property. So you'll paddle 7 miles from landing 12 to bridge 18, and you will ride your bike 14 miles through the hills, and yes, through Amish country. We will sweep the route prior to the race, but I bet you'll have to dodge some horse apples. So just be aware of that. There's one on the bike route. There's one pretty good hill up. It does have a little bit of relief in the middle, but it's a long hill. It's not incredibly steep, but it's a long hill. And then on the way back, when you ride out the ridge a ways, and then on the way back down, there's a very steep downhill. We will have signage there that says steep hill. It's right at towards the very end of the bike. So just be really aware. The road is really good. It's a nice smooth road. In that section, it's not it's a side road, so it's little traffic. And it's newer blacktop, so the surface is going to be really good, but it is a very steep, short and steep downhill, so just know that.
Is this the same route as last year?
Yes.
So I encountered dogs that chased me at the top of a hill.
Yep.
Has that been addressed?
It has. We sent letters out to all of the neighbors along the bike route that asked them to kennel or tie their dogs. And we actually know which dogs you're talking about. So prior to the race, we're gonna go and actually talk to those folks too, just personally, to make sure that those dogs aren't a problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Can you say how long it is from the end of the paddle up to the transition area about?
Yep, it's probably about 200 yards, maybe 150 yards. So it's gonna be kind of a grind. We're gonna have some cheering signs there that says, this is the dam challenge. This is the dam of the challenge right here. It's gonna be a tough spot. Do your best, but everyone's timing stops at the transition, but it is an uphill right along the trail from bridge 18 up to the transition area. Any other questions about those two portions?
If we rented a kayak from you, do you provide paddle and life vest?
Yes, we do. They will be there at the boat start. The kayak or canoe rented boats will be at the boat start waiting for you. So when you get off the shuttle, you'll grab a boat. They're not gonna have your name on it. So if you just have to know that you rented a kayak, and so you grab a kayak. And there will be paddles and life jackets with each one of those boats for you to grab as well.
Thank you. My last question is, I don't recall seeing the selection, but how do you know if you're a competitive racer versus just a regular citizen racer?
So you would have indicated that when you registered.
Okay.
If you did, yeah, if you're unsure, we'll have, when you check in at the registration tent, either the early registration or same day registration, we will have put you in that category, whatever you indicated. So at that time, if you don't remember, you can just say, I'm registered somewhere here, and we'll find you. Any other questions?
I got a quick question.
Sure.
So we're running a 3-person team.
Yep.
Can you just run through that real quick, how that happens, basically from when you get out of your kayak? Do you run up the hill to the transition? Can you just run?
So whoever is doing the paddle portion, the paddler needs to cross the mat, the canoe mat, which is the yellow square on the screen. The paddler needs to cross the yellow mat into transition.
Okay,
So yes, the paddler is gonna have to be able to make it up the hill. And then you'll go
But
to
we
that
did
tag off zone, which in the past, we've had to switch, like the teams have had to switch ankle, bracelets so that the timer goes with the team. But with these, timing chips in the bibs, our timer person just has everyone's bib numbers together, like you're grouped together as a team.
okay.
So everyone has their own bib and everyone has their own chip. So there really isn't a tag off zone anymore. Basically, you just kind of get together and say, hey, high five, you're up, here you go, get on your bike and go. So go ahead.
Yeah, so whenever I cross that yellow mat, should my biker be standing there basically, could he leave early or does he have to wait for me to cross?
He has to wait for you to get into transition. Yep.
So as soon as I do that though, he needs to be pretty quick with taking off.
Yeah, if you want your transition times to be short, then yes, your bike rider should be ready to go and cross the mat as soon as you
Cross
know,
mine.
and
Yeah.
cross yours. Yeah.
Same with the runner.
Same with the runner. Yeah, but make sure that the first person is in before the second person leaves. Yep.
Yep, and then when I jump out of my kayak at the bottom at the water, I've kayaked this already. I know what to expect there.
Sure.
Do I need to drag my kayak up the hill or do I jump out and just take off running for the transition?
Nope, you jump out and take off running. We'll have a whole crew of volunteers down there that will be carrying boats up the ramp and they'll set them to the side.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we getting out in the water? In other words, are our feet getting wet or not?
It really is very shallow there, so I think we'll be able to get the boats right at the edge where you'll be able to step out onto solid ground. Yep.
Could you finish if it's a 3-person team, then the biker crosses the mat? What's the biker's responsibility before the runner can go because biking shoes on?
Yeah, so as soon as the biker crosses the mat and comes in, if you're a team, your runner, I would think can go as soon as your bike partner crosses the mat. If
Yeah.
you're biking and then you are also going to run.
No, I am not. So
Okay.
visually, as soon as they cross, the runner could be up by the timer mat, could begin.
You bet. Yep.
Okay,
That's the
Thank you.
beauty of having a team. Yep.
got it.
Yep. You'll be able to see, like you can see one mat to the other, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of an on your honor, like, okay, you shouldn't leave early because that'll mess up your timing, because your times are all tied together. Allow your bike person to come in and maybe give a wave or something, and then off your runner goes. You bet. Yep.
I got just one more on that bike, on the question that Paul had there. I'm just looking at the biking blue square, the mat there. Will the runner be able to see? It looks like a pretty long stretch from the red mat to the blue mat.
It is a distance. It is a distance, but you should be able to see. I mean, if you know what your other teammate is wearing.
Yeah.
If you can't see, then maybe they want to kind of hold back a little closer where
Or
in
use
some designated area that you guys have decided where you're gonna.
or the
kinda take off.
kayaker could maybe help out too with
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. Whatever you decide, as long as you're not crossing those mats until it's time to go, whatever you decide in transition is up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little different with the timing chips being in the mat or in the bibs than it was before. Before, you know, we all teams had to meet in one spot and take time to, you know, take the timing chip off and give it to the next person, but it's a little different now. So we should have some pretty short transition times for teams. Okay, any other questions about that? The run leaves, as you can see, out west. We'll have that signed really well. The run route is pretty awesome, pretty great, pretty beautiful, really nice vistas. It's got some elevation change. It runs along the contour through the woods. Just a really nice kind of flowing trail out through the woods. All natural surface except for one tiny little spot where you have to run across near our maintenance building, where it'll just be a little bit of blacktop that you have to run across to get to the trailhead of the West Ridge Trail. But otherwise, everything else is grass or dirt. It's all natural surface. And then you can see the finish line. That's actually right on the dam berm, so it's elevated. It's up in the air. Everyone should, anywhere where you're at there should have a really good view of the finish line. So that will be the end of the race. And of course, the beginning, like I said, the beginning of your bragging rights. All right, any questions at all about that part? Great. Quickly, we'll just talk about racer recovery food. So right back through that racer gate and into that same tent where you registered is where you're going to come across there to get any racer recovery food. And that's all available to you at no cost. We'll have Organic Valleys donated some product to us. Some other local places have donated some things to us. So we've got some really good things that'll kind of help get you back on your feet and ready to cheer other people on or enjoy some music or whatever it is. Again, in that spot, when you're crossing over after the races, you're done racing, when you're crossing back over into the main event area and into the registration racer recovery tent, you're going to be crossing bike traffic. So we really, there's good sight lines there. Very good sight lines. You'll be able to see up the road. Very good. But you really want to make sure that you are watching for bikes so we don't have accidents right there. All right. And quickly touch on the awards. We're going to have the awards be about 1 o'clock. We're shooting for 1. We will move them up a little earlier if we've got everybody in, and those will be in the tent where the live music will be. Any questions about those? Great. Okay, this one, the next thing on the list is the post-race boat pickup. So when you get off the water, we already touched on this a little bit. When you get off the water, there will be volunteers there, 1, helping you out of your boat, and 2, carrying your boat up and just setting it off to the side of the race route. And then you take off for transition on your own. So now we have to retrieve your boat from down by Bridge 18 after you're done with the race. We will be bringing boats up with a canoe trailer. We'll be bringing boats up and dropping them off at the boat pickup area. You can see that it's right by the racer recovery tent and it's right by the parking lot. We'll be dropping boats off there. If you don't want your boat to be brought up, that's okay. We understand that some people don't want us to touch their boats and don't want anyone doing anything with their boat. We completely understand that and respect that. But you will be tasked at either carrying your boat up to the parking lot or bring a cart, a 2-wheel cart or some kind of a cart to pull your boat up to the parking lot. Remembering that there will be bikers, there'll be racers on the route. So just, we're gonna have to be a little bit careful of, you know, how the boats, it's gonna be a little congested in that area a little bit, but it'll work out. We will not be hauling any boats up to the parking lot until all of the bikes have left. If you need to carry your boat up ahead of that, then you're gonna have to just kind of go with the flow and be cautious of bikes and things like that. But we will start hauling boats up as soon as the last bike leaves. Okay?
How do we indicate whether we want you to carry our boat or not?
Yep, so when you check in at the registration tent and then again up at landing 12, you'll be asked if you want us to haul your boat for you. And if you say yes, someone will give you a little piece of plastic flagging tape that has your racer number on it, and you tie that on your boat. So if we see that that's tied on a boat, we will know that we have to haul that boat up. If you don't want us to touch your boat, then don't put any flagging on it at all, and we won't touch that boat. Make sense? Okay. All right, the rest of the things are it's all the gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. Lost and found, there will be food and beverage available for everyone, spectators, volunteers, everyone. We'll have some food carts there. We'll have live music in celebration of this being the 20th annual Dam Challenge. We'll have live music. There'll be a few vendors there. And we also want to invite you to the after party, which is downtown in Lafarge at a place called the Twisted Raven Lounge. It's a wine and beer lounge and bar. It's a pretty neat place. And they'll also have live music there. And if racers or volunteers, if they show either their race bib or their Dam Challenge t-shirt, they get money off their food or drinks or whatever it is. And there's no cover charge to get into that party. The official results we'll post unofficial results at the event, but the official results will be available on our website probably Monday, I'm guessing. And other than that, just photos. We'll take photos throughout the day, and I'll go ahead and share a big album with everyone with all the photos that we get in, so that everyone can see any photos. Try to pick yourself out. Volunteers, make sure you thank them because we can't do this without them. Spectators, bring as many spectators as you want. We'll have some really great places for them to be able to view. Pets are allowed, but we do ask that they are on leash. And then just safety reminders. If there's any emergency at all, please dial 911 or have someone dial 911. We will have an ambulance on site, which would probably be the one that would respond. And we will have a sag wagon on the bike route. So we will have people there to be able to help you. But please dial 911 if something happens or ask for someone to. Any other questions about anything? Well, that's great. It was short and sweet. I hope this was helpful. Again, reach out to me. My email is on the bottom of the racer manual and the email that I sent you that even gave you this link. Anything comes up, any questions, please reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. I'd rather somebody have more knowledge than they need than to have wonderment and we don't have enough volunteers to help you along the way. So, all right, well, we are very excited for you to see this new route. We probably will we will send you a survey after the race, just to find out what you think of the new route and what you think of kind of how everything went. We do value everyone's opinion, and we like to improve off of suggestions and off of your racer knowledge. So be sure to fill out those surveys and get them back to us, and we'll do our best. And the last I looked at the weather, it looks really pretty awesome. So I think we're gonna luck out. So I hope everyone has a good night. Any other questions before we go here?
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for
Thanks a
being
lot.
here. Yeah, thanks. All right, we will
Thank
see you on
you.
Saturday.
Thanks.
Good luck. Yep.